Serving Tampa Bay since 1954, the Heritage Station. WTMP, Egypt Lake, Tampa, Clearwater, 97.5 in Pinellas.
So this is Porch Talk Radio on this fine Saturday afternoon.
Way live.
No matter where you are, we still on the air. So that's the important thing. We're on the air. Folks can hear us, and we got a great show for you as usual. Last week we jumped right into the show, and I didn't do the intro. Last week I didn't do an intro for the show.
It was fast and furious.
And after 13 years, that's the first time I ever got here, and we didn't do the intro because the guests came in, and we were so interested in what was going to be happening, that I say, okay, we Porch Talk Radio, and here's the guest, and the guests start talking, and then we actually had a commercial during the show, and then we did On This Day, and then the hour was gone. It was shot just like that.
Boom.
And so I've been told it was a great show.
Absolutely.
So that's all that matters. It is the end result. It's the fact that we do a great show and you guys like it. And we even had, ex-Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn call Jarvis, who's Jarvis Alameen, who was one of our guests last week, and corrected him. While we were still on the air, that about something that he said, and Bob was listening. So I'm assuming, that just goes to show. Every week, we get some kind of surprise, either during the show, or after the show, or something, and we find out that this audience is so diverse.
Huge.
And folks call from California, from Kansas City, from Fort Lauderdale, from Miami. So these folks are calling. They're listening. They don't always call in. The show is driven by us talking to you, giving you information, and that's the most important part of it. But who gets that information? That too is very important. We have no way of knowing, because even if you subscribe to Arbitron and all those different numbers that supposed to keep up with it, they actually don't tell you who's listening from minute to minute, hour to hour. And once the information get out there, who knows where it goes? Because the fact that the people who need to listen to this show hear the show, and part of the show last week we were talking about was the supposedly new chief of police. And as many of you know from Thursday city council meeting, it didn't happen. So it's been pushed back. Now, from what I hear, and I'm just throwing it out there, and many of you probably have heard the same thing, that she don't have 4 city council member votes. Of course, if that is incorrect, everybody's hair on fire, and they're gonna be calling and texting and everything, so that I know that was incorrect. But from what I gathered from my sources, that she don't have 4 votes from city council. So that means that either they're gonna work until they get 4 votes, they're gonna break some ankles, or some kneecaps, or whatever they do in politics around here to make it happen. Either they're gonna vote. I can't see them voting at a citywide kind of event where the folks done pretty much said we don't want her, go get a nothing, and then they let it happen, and everybody know that the city council decided against her. So I don't know. See, that's the politics. That's the political part of the process. So that you and me won't actually know until it's pretty close to happening. If they let them vote, more often than not, they broke an ankle, a kneecap, or something. Like the skater. What was her name?
Tonya Harding
Tonya Harding and whatever the other lady was who got her leg hurt by the thugs that Tonya Harding was dating at that time. I know that's too much information, but
Well, Eddie, now if the vote goes through and this person is suddenly put into power, basically,
she be chief of police.
then at that point it's up to the voters to realize they still have authority.
No, they don't.
No. I'm saying when election time comes around for these council members.
Yeah, but again, see that's politics. I'm tell you what politics for. Most people don't understand. Y'all got a short memory.
Oh.
Y'all may be mad as hell for 2 weeks,
And then
3 weeks you forget all about it and then go to something else. That's the way. See, that's what they count on. They count on you being mad, but it's temporary. It's like insanity for a lot of you guys. I was temporarily insane when I shot and killed 800 people. You know, with my mass destruction gun.
well, Eddie, if that was now technically, Eddie, if that was the case, technically, just happened.
Yeah.
With a liberal judge would say, well, that person didn't intend to hurt that person, so we're gonna just give her a few months in jail.
But what about the other 799? See,
The other dead, it don't matter. The judge don't care.
Well, all of them dead.
But I'm just saying, liberal judges, what you just said there,
Yeah.
they kind of want to do their own thing, and it's just not right.
Yeah.
And no bail.
And no bail. With no bail.
Yeah.
No bail. So anyway, what is actually on my agenda today, and if you want to call me, after the show, my cell phone number has not changed. It is 813-12. And thank you for listening in Porch Talk Radio, Porch Talk
Facebook.
Live, Facebook Live, yeah.
There's still a few people on Facebook.
Yeah, there's a couple folks there watching and listening to the show. And I just want you guys to know that what we do here is very, very, very. So that means you got 101 on a 100-point test.
Mhm.
So you got some extras,
That's true.
That's what my teacher used to do. If you got a perfect score, you got a very, very good. So I just gave you very, very, very good. So
Like and share, please.
Yeah.
Our Facebook Live today, right now. Go to porchtalkradio.com. You should be able to find us there and go live and share.
I can't let folks forget Black History Month. And I keep saying Black History Month is not about history past the transatlantic slave trade.
Oh,
It
Eddie.
started thousands of years before that. I gotta keep saying that because you gotta keep telling people stuff they should already know, but a lot of people don't know. Like someone keep asking me, and I have keep telling folks, Juneteenth. Juneteenth is real important. It's very important, and now I don't know if this is misinformation or not. So I'm gonna say it. And I know you guys will correct me, but Juneteenth has been declared as a national holiday. It's coming. It's either been official or it's coming, But someone also told me that the gay, lesbian, and the QRT, all them folks
MOUSE.
have checked and said that they wanted to have Juneteenth as their month. So here it is again. We got a conflict of interest where somebody come up and say, yeah, we're going to take Juneteenth from you. Because I remember, when we started the Juneteenth celebrations, nobody else had anything going in June, except for Father's Day. So that was the only big deal in June. Now, black folks decide we want to take Juneteenth and make it our month. It ain't Black History Month. It is Juneteenth. It's saving us as a people from the other folks.
Eddie,
It's Emancipation Proclamation.
I think it's already lost because we know the Biden administration, typical Democrats, they always sell out the minorities all the time. I bet you that LBGQT, MOUSE, whatever, I bet you they're going to have it simply because the Democrats want to please everybody.
Yeah.
And and they'll sell their own people out.
But let me correct you on that right now. I'm going to correct you on the radio. They don't want to please everybody. Because they don't give a crap about black folks. See, they keep saying that. Y'all, since 1954, you ain't got the right to vote. You got the House, you got the Senate, you got the presidency. If they decide tomorrow they want to give you the right to vote,
Permanent.
permanent right
Yeah.
to vote,
There we go.
you would have it. So they don't want to please you. Evidently, you ain't that high on their list of priorities because it ain't what you say,
Mm-hmm. But
it is what you do.
ooh.
And since they ain't did it, matter of fact, we had a black president, and it wasn't important to his people.
Twice.
It couldn't be important to him because evidently somebody in his campaign
Uh-oh.
mentioned it to him several times, and well, you can't do this because that make you look black, make you act black, or do something for the black folks. And as a black president, you cannot do anything for black folks either. See, that's what I see.
Now, he told us, Eddie, I'll be honest with you, I'm just now recalling, Obama said in his first election, I'm not here for the black people, and he was right,
Well,
because he didn't help you guys at all.
Well, he didn't help. Well, he didn't want to mention Martin Luther King, even though he used a lot of Martin Luther King stuff. But see, he wouldn't put King in his speeches.
Uh-oh.
You know, he didn't want to reflect on folks that he was, you know, like somebody may have missed that he was the black president. You know, he may have been the black president, but he couldn't act like the black
And he
president.
couldn't help his own people.
Clinton acted more like a black president.
Actually, you're right about that.
than Obama.
And he
So-
even said he was black. Clinton
Yeah.
came out of the club and said, I'm black. And he's been more black than
he
Yeah.
wanted to get credit for the first black president. So
Yeah.
and that was before Obama got elected.
Woo.
So that's
Clinton did it better.
That's a different scenario.
Clinton did it better, and I'm not a Democrat.
And again, folks, we're not here to be politically correct.
Mhm.
So if you don't like what we're saying, tough nookies. You know, because at the end of the day, sometimes the truth hurt.
Mhm.
Didn't your parents tell you that when you was a kid? You know, and I'm doing this, and it hurts me more than it's gonna hurt you. And see, I always said, you know, I didn't say it out loud, but I'm saying to myself, you're a lie. You know, cause
Eddie.
I knew my mama loved me, but I don't believe that whooping she was doing to me was hurting her more than it hurt
But
me.
you didn't do it again, did you?
No, that was part of the process. I got a whole bunch of whoopings when I was a kid.
Yeah, that Pat was my friend.
Yeah. See, my mama used a belt.
Uh-huh, got that.
She used switches,
I had that.
and
I had the shoe, the sandal.
and for a period of time, you know, she went to jail because she beat us with a extension cord. So
No wooden spoon?
no, my mama.
Remember the finger hut furniture stuff you
didn't
put on the
cook.
wall?
See, black folks way back then didn't have a wooden spoon. Matter of fact, my grandmama didn't have one, and my mama didn't. Have one.
Really?
Never had a wooden spoon in the house. So I guess we got protected.
I guess so.
You know, but I'm gonna tell you something. That extension cord left whoops.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah. Well, that spoon left some marks. I had an auntie over in Los Angeles, Auntie Moore, and beautiful, wonderful cooking lady. And I tell you, when this black lady got mad at you, you knew it, your bottom knew it, and that wooden spoon was a weapon.
Okay. Well, folks. Now this is what the show really was supposed to be about today.
Come on.
It really was supposed to be about mass. Mass. The
Church
thing,
thing?
the thing that all the Democratic blue states have now,
Oh, mask.
as
Okay, then.
opposed to a week ago, you know, nothing technically has changed, but they say, well, we gonna,
Oh, the signs changed because of politics, Eddie.
well, what I'm trying to say is, I didn't see anything particular happening out there, except for one day, they did like they did when it was counting the ballots, you know,
Mhm.
on election night for Trump. You know, 7 states got together and said, let's stop counting cause our guys losing.
Terribly.
And 6 hours later, they all.
Oh, oh my God, it's a miracle.
Yeah, they all came back online, and somehow Trump was losing all 7 races. But
That was a miracle, Eddie.
that's neither here nor there. but they did the same thing with mass, cause you got California and New Jersey and Illinois and all these other states, you know, came together, and the governors, guess they had a telephone conference or a video Zoom something, and they decided all the COVID stuff is gonna be reversed and we're gonna do schools later.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
just the politics of science.
Yeah, we got a caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Who are you, where you calling from, and what say you? Hello?
Hi, good afternoon, Margaret in Tampa.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make a comment about the parents saying that it's going to hurt me more than it hurt you. They weren't speaking about the physical part of it because we know better than that. They were speaking mentally and emotionally. They didn't really want to do it to you, but it was the best thing for you to correct whatever the situation.
I go with that.
My mom was a wonderful person, but she worked 2 jobs, and sometimes she came home and beat all 5 of us. she whooped all 5 of us. So I know, by the time she got to the littlest one, she was exhausted. She may have been more exhausted than we were, but she gave all of us a good whooping, whether it was your fault or not. You see what I'm saying?
I've done that.
but she was.
I went through that. I went through that too. Let me say this and then I get off the name.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind. I went through that situation too. I got some things that I shouldn't have gotten, and also President Obama, as we know, he's biracial. He's not just a black man, so he appealed mostly to his Caucasian side
Good
Yes.
point.
when he
he
was
did.
in office.
Yes, ma'am.
And
You're right.
So therefore, I don't make excuses for the things that he still should have tried to do or do. But he is a biracial, so we had the first biracial president.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Awesome, man.
I will appreciate you for saying that, because it's an awful lot of black folks, that have making excuses, for 12 years for what happened and what didn't happen. But the fact is, his first term, the first 2 years, he had the House, he had the Senate, and he was the president.
And his
So-
cabinet was all white.
So for most of that time period, anything he wanted to do, and the country was in love with him.
Mhm.
He won in a landslide. He could have did anything he wanted to. I'm just saying, he didn't want to.
But Eddie, I think it all works out in the end because now he's got 2 or 3 multi-million-dollar mansions.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean the climate change thing. Even though he bought a big old mansion on the water. Yeah.
2.
Oh yeah.
2. Because
You
they bought
know,
one in Hawaii.
So politics served him well.
If you're in
He
Hawaii,
learned from the white man.
you're on the water.
Woo!
I don't care where you at on Hawaii, in Hawaii. If you're in Hawaii, you're on the water. So.
That's true. All around, literally.
And that being said, if Howard's in there, Howard, can you do our Strawberry Festival theme? Oh, I don't see him, so I'm gonna continue, and then when I see him, he may be back. He may have us back on the air. So anyway. But speaking of the Strawberry Festival, I might as well go ahead and do what I'm gonna do. So folks, yeah, please. Folks, we have some tickets for the Strawberry Festival. And what I need you to do to get these tickets. Now, these artists are the artists I have tickets for. And the tickets are free. And you get free admission to the Strawberry Festival. So what I need you to do, tell me what artist you want to see. And I'm going to give you the artist here in a little bit. Tell me what artist you want to see. Then tell me your name and your address. Text that information to 813-230-3312. Again, text that info to 813-12. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the 2 tickets to the event, the Strawberry Festival. And then you're going to get 2 general admission tickets so you can go to the event. Now, the artist, and as soon as I give these to you, then Howard's going to play the commercial. He's going to play the spot. The artist is Ricky Nelson Remembered. And the artist doing the remembering, I guess, is Matthew and Gunnar Nelson.
It's like a tribute band.
So
Yeah.
so I don't know if those are his cousins, folks related to him or not, but that's gonna be Tuesday, March 8th, 3:30 p.m. 3:30 p.m. at the Strawberry Festival. That's Ricky Nelson remembered. Okay, and the other artists
Mm-hmm.
that I have tickets for is Philip Waldron. Philip Waldron. That's gonna be March 5th, 3:30 p.m. So you gotta give me your info, your name, address, and which artist you want to go see. Text it to me, and I will mail you 2 tickets to the concert and 2 general admission tickets. So, Howard, play our spot, please.
The 2022 Florida Strawberry Festival, #1 for fun, music, and food. Get your tickets on sale now at flstrawberryfestival.com. That's flstrawberryfestival.com. The 2022 Florida Strawberry Festival, #1 for fun.
All right, there you go. So we've fulfilled, and next week you'll hear the commercial again. We're gonna do this all the way up until the Strawberry Festival. You know, and as you guys know, most of the time I don't take sponsors. You know, that way when y'all get mad at me, you can't call and say, you know, tell the sponsor not to support me or not to sponsor me anymore. So since we do the Strawberry Festival almost every year, we've been on the air even before we came here. You know, that's more like a legacy sponsorship. You know, we've been doing that. We got a great relationship.
And the food's actually good out there in some
Oh
of the
yeah,
booths.
we've even done the show out there live a couple
Oh, that's
times.
right.
We did the show, you know, and they brought us free food and the whole 9 yards. And that's a great evening. And the Strawberry Festival is kind of been like the state of Florida. You know, the COVID stuff kind of shut a lot of people down. But I don't think the Strawberry Festival ever shut down. They did it one time. Okay, one
Initially.
time. So 1 year, I guess that first year they shut down. Other than that, every year they've been
Cranking out strawberries.
They've been like a bad rash.
Oh my goodness. But in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. In a good way. They keep coming back and doing their thing. And
That's
like I
right.
say, I've had a great relationship.
Great people out there.
With the chairman out there, Paul Davis, and Paul is a great person. So I like Paul, and he supported us, and so.
Thank you.
Unless we do something between now and next year, you know, that's the only person you can call to complain about the show. So.
And he's already heard it.
Yeah. And he's heard everything because we've been doing this for a long time.
Woo.
And thank you, people, for listening, because you the important cog in this wheel. The fact that you listen to this show and what we do is so important. And we have people. I actually have a waiting list of guests. You know, and I have to consider, you know, guests real importantly, you know, because people I bring on the show not only bring information, but they leave a lasting impression on you. And if I bring you somebody who's a bad person or somebody not going to be good for the community, you guys may forget who that person was, but you're gonna remember that I brought that person on the air, and that's how you heard them, and it made me look bad in your heart. So I don't want to look bad in your heart, and that's important.
So we're not bringing on any Joe Rogans anytime soon.
No, you know, but I do have some Congress folks.
Unless you're listening, Joe.
You know that I may be. yeah, you get a call from Joe Rogan.
Hey,
yeah.
my partner.
You got some call. We may have some Congress people come in, and if you guys have listened to the show for any period of time, you know that Alan West and myself, way back in
that's right.
2008, you know, we
Good
were both on the Florida ballot running for Congress, and we both lost. You know, but the difference is the next year we raised $24 million and won. And the state of Florida, the Republican Party of Florida, wrote Alan West out of his own congressional district. He had already won the district, and they wrote him out of his district. The next election, he lost. He went to Texas, and became the Republican Party of Texas chairman. And guess what? he is now running and beating the current governor for the state of Texas, Allen West, our good old Florida boy.
I think he could win it.
Went to Texas and may be the first black governor for the state of Texas.
Woo, that would be awesome.
That's when you know you're doing something.
Now he's real
right.
black.
He's real black.
Okay. Just clarify, no biracial.
Yeah. He. I think his mama's black and his dad is black. No matter what planet you're on, you know.
Because we're not politically correct,
Even
folks.
if you turn up light skinned, they still would consider you black. So
Yeah, okay.
black folks and white folks would consider you black if both of your parents. are
Okay,
black.
we just
Are
thought
black.
we'd clarify that for you, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
we're just making sure we don't get a call, somebody correcting,
That's right.
And Allen West's children appear to be black.
Oh my goodness. We are hitting 100% here, folks.
So I'm just
100%
saying,
black
I'm just saying,
certified.
because sometimes, and I'm gonna say this because Dana Shore or somebody, one of those famous TV stars from way back when, she had a black baby, and I think her husband divorced her, or wanted to divorce her or something, even though she didn't have an affair.
Mm-hmm.
But she couldn't explain how she had it, and then she had black genes. And
Did that child end up being the president?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, but she had black genes in her heritage.
Oh.
Who's that white Mike? You're like, and you're real far from it. You're low.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Hopefully you can hear me better now. And I was talking about the white woman who had the black baby, but she had not had the thing. So skip the.
How did we get to this conversation?
He was the white Mike because you were talking biracial.
White Mike.
Yeah. See. Now I'm gonna tell you how it just got real in here. Okay. The station manager, the director of the station production and everything, came in and changed my mic. I had a black mic. Oh, it had some blue on it, and he sent me to the white mic.
So we're talking about the white person now.
Yeah.
Got
So
it. We're on it.
So we're racially sensitive
Oh my goodness.
to everything here.
We got this going on.
Everything has some color.
And Gabriel's red.
Gabriel got
Like Indian Mexican, I don't know.
Gabriel got the red one.
Could
So
be pink, I guess. Who knows?
let's do on this day.
Hey, please.
We got a roll going. We might as well
Save us.
Go ahead and get the business.
Real business.
of the radio show done.
Do this.
On this day, February 19th, 1878, Thomas Alva Edison patented a music player. That's what they called it back then, music player. It came to be known as the phonograph.
Oh, Victrola.
Yeah, but back then it was a music player.
Ah.
On this day, February 19th, 1881, Kansas became the first state to prohibit all alcoholic beverages.
Huh.
So they were the first state to start the
They had to go to Oklahoma to get it, I guess.
Prohibition.
Or Arkansas.
So they were the first dry state. I think that's what they called
Yeah.
it back then.
Or, yeah, back then they even had dry counties.
Yeah. Well, they gotta have a dry state.
Well, but there was counties that were dry, and the one next to it wasn't.
Well, Polk County, that's where I'm from,
Polk County.
was a dry county. And I remember people talking about not being able to buy liquor on Saturday or Sunday, 12 o'clock at night. Some
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was blue. They used to have blue laws.
Yeah, kind of stupid. And then that they had to come to Tampa. From Lake Wales, Florida, people came to Tampa to buy
they did
liquor.
it.
To buy liquor, and they did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway,
That's called alcohol.
on this date, that may be where they came from.
You know? Just saying.
On this date, February 19, 1942, U.S. President Roosevelt signed an executive order. There you go, executive order. So they didn't do anything with executive order. Giving the military the authority to relocate and intern Japanese American.
Huh.
Yeah, that's when that happened.
So we were unfair to them, too.
We were unfair to a lot of people.
Italians, all of them.
They got all compensated too.
Line them all up.
All except black folk. We still waiting on our 40 acres and a mule. With 40 acres, even if we don't get the mule.
Yeah.
On this date, February 19, 1985, Mickey Mouse was welcomed to China as part of a 30th anniversary of Disneyland. The touring mouse played 30 cities in 30 days. Only the great mouse could do something of that nature. And he's still there. He did the tour, and now they got 2 mouse lands in China. And last but not least, on this day, February 19th, 1985, and I know some of you folks would never, ever, ever, ever forget the great introduction of Cherry Coke.
Oh my goodness.
By the Coca-Cola Company.
I didn't like it.
Some people still don't like it, but it's still there.
It's nasty.
It's still hanging in there.
Nasty.
I'm gonna tell you what's funny. They got the original Coke. They got 85 different flavors of Cherry Coke.
Yuck.
And then they got the new Coke.
New Coke?
It's still out there somewhere.
And there's a brand new one, brand new flavor they announced this past business week.
Yeah, they just announced that, and that's not the zero sugar Cokes, all the diet Cokes that's out there.
Oh yeah.
And let me say this, and I'm gonna be politically incorrect.
Come on.
A lot of the head honchos for Coca-Cola Company live in Atlanta, Georgia, and many of them are black.
No.
Yes.
Funny how the media ain't talking about that.
And
But the board members are a lot of white people.
the thing that they don't tell you about, Coca-Cola is known, followed, consumed all over the world. But what they do for the black communities, I mean, I know they got to be doing something with that many black folks
noteworthy
at the top of a international conglomerate organization
in a black state.
In a black
Atlanta.
in a black city.
Yeah, big
Atlanta.
time.
You know, for those who don't know or who do know, you know, Chocolate City. That's what they call
Chocolate City.
That's
Okay,
what they
then.
call
All right.
and not to confuse Chocolate City with Magic City. That's in Atlanta.
That's too much. My head's hurting already.
Ladies, turn around and slap the hell out of your husband if they laugh at the sound of Magic City. Because if they've been to Magic City, they wasn't truthful. they ain't told you about it. Gabriel.
All right, folks. So just kind of lighten the load here a little bit with dating tips for you to follow me for sure on advice. Madonna is 63 years old. Her boyfriend's about 30. Tina Turner is about 82 years old. Her boyfriend's about 47. J-Lo's about 52. Current boyfriend's about 36, I believe. Mariah Carey, she's about 51. Boyfriend's about 38. So if you're still single, don't worry. Your person hasn't been born yet. Just hang in there. So, folks, the good news I have overall, the Democrats are definitely losing their battles. The messaging has been absolute chaos. Do you remember, for example, when CRT was great? Then it was only taught in law schools. Then it didn't exist. And then finally, you're a racist if you bring it up. So that messaging went to heck. Next is mask. We mentioned a little bit on the mask.
Yep.
They were going to save the world. Then the CDC said, well, maybe not. Then the CDC said, you don't have to wear the mask because they really aren't as effective unless you're in a blue state that just repealed making mask mandates. So the messaging on that's gotten screwed to heck also. Next was the truckers that are going against all the mandates up in Canada, which has turned into a true dictatorship. They were called Nazis, they were called white supremacists, then they were called something about a Planko game, and then they said they had pizza ovens out in the street, they were making pizza. Yeah, so that message got messed up.
Well,
Next,
people were feeding the truckers. That's what they were
that
doing.
what it was?
Yeah, they were feeding the truckers.
So the messaging from them, from Nazis to feeding the people, suddenly, I don't know. Next one was crime. Do you remember this, folks? Defund the police. Police are bad. Defund, defund. And all the people that were yelling at the loudest about defund the police have their own security guards that, oh, by the way, you're paying for, politicians. Next was don't defund the police. Then came, the Republicans defunded the police. Of course, all Democrat-controlled cities did defund the police. We don't know where that money went, but okay. Next, even Al Sharpton is now saying, no, we need our protection. So that message got all sent to heck in a handbasket. You know the people, we are winning when they are just crazy like this and they can't agree on their messaging. So what? Should Republicans be swampy soft on the Democrats when they lose power again? Or no, they should be merciless. Dems want redemption. Fine, go to Jesus. Because politics, and we've said it here, it's a blood sport. It's just politics. The Democrats have gone at this with absolutely no compassion with the power. The Democrats' policies of failure should be given to every Democrat you run across, like making the children wear the mask from age 2 to age 5, wearing those masks while salivating into those things almost anytime they're awake. The businesses have been destroyed because of those policies as well. How about the CDC? What science? The science is the pocketbook, folks. As we go on to happier things now, Bill Gates is out there predicting another pandemic. I bet you he's going to have some more legal patents on some new vaccines ready for that new pandemic he's going to bring us. Now, here's what I started mentioning to Eddie earlier. Kim Potter was a policeman, the white policewoman that killed Dante Wright. The judge, liberal judge, came back and said Kim didn't really mean to hurt anybody that day. She was having a bad day, so we're just going to give her 24 months. Now, she's probably get off for good behavior, and maybe even served some time already, so she'll be in a few months and she'll be right out. Now, folks, I don't care what color your skin is. There's no way a judge would know what Kim Potter was thinking that day. She was not in her mind. She was not in her clothes to see what she was thinking.
Temporary insanity.
Yeah, so the white judge, liberal white judge, covers for the white woman that kills the black man. Folks, this looks bad. I don't care what color Mr. Dante Wright was. Obviously, he was not in the right. But
Right was wrong.
the fact that the liberal judge let this policeman walk because she didn't know the difference between a gun
And a taser.
and a taser. Folks, just think about that just for a minute. And what's the media telling you about it? Nothing.
Ned.
Nothing. Meanwhile, BLM, which is run by the Democratic Party, we know, has been dumped by Amazon for no financial transparency because Democrats are defunding, defrauding the whole thing. It's been controlled by them for all along. In fact, the last I heard, the BLM bought a mansion in Canada for several millions of dollars because they wanted to.
Tax write-off.
Yeah. So BLM, we know, has been run by the Democratic Party. They used them as their brown shirts. I won't say the N-word, but they used them as they used them. And everybody else got sucked into it. And they took almost $1 billion, Eddie. So,
Well, we knew they wasn't black when they raised $3 billion. We knew they wasn't black.
oh, and now on a happy note, we'll end. The trans swimmer that is destroying all women's sports right now, the swimming sports particularly. So if you are a person who says you believe in women's rights, and you're not fighting this, you are full of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Yeah. Now that brings me to my next issue,
Uh-oh.
and I would like to just hear because I kind of figured out just by watching how white folks react to this, but it's hard for me to read black folks because let me tell you what the deal is. I hear all these white folks complaining, about everybody can use the bathroom and everybody can do this and everybody, and I'm not concerned and all this kind of stuff, and I'm not trying to be, anti-gay or anti-lesbian, anti-anything. But what I'm saying to you, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day, you can change your physical appearance.
Mm-hmm.
You can make yourself look as male or as female as you would like. What you cannot do is change your genes. And I don't mean, blue or gray or whatever color your gene. I mean your biological genes. Either you are Y, which makes you a male, I don't care how many X's they attach to it.
Inject.
Inject. Y, you're a female. You may be a super female, but you still a female. And there's some things about human beings that are affected at the cellular level that has absolutely nothing to do with your appearance.
Eddie, now you're his dad. I'm a dad. When my daughter, when she was a child, when she went into the ladies' bathroom, her mama would usually follow up in there, make sure to take care of business.
Yeah.
Now, if some man wanted to walk right in there after, I'd say, you're going to wait.
Right.
Well, I identify as a female. You're going to identify with a dentist if you don't wait over there or go to use the right bathroom you're supposed to use. Because that's just not right, and that's what we need to do if we're not going to protect our families from this, Eddie. And it's just foolishness. I mean, there's nobody right now that's listening to us that doesn't understand what you just said. Now, I know you got your degree in microbiology.
Yeah.
You got technical on us for that Y and X stuff. But a majority of us understand if you were born a male, you were born a female, and now you don't want to be, you want to identify yourself as a hippopotamus, okay, that's fine. Go be that. Don't mess with me or my family.
But see, that's the problem. See, if your genes make you a male, there's certain physical traits other than a penis that go along with you having male genes.
Uh-oh, we're getting technical, Eddie.
One of them is size, strength, hormones that make you more physical because you was made to fight and protect females.
Eddie,
so for all intents and purposes,
that's not PC, Eddie.
For all intents and purposes, you should beat females running, jumping, throwing rocks, or throwing javelins, or whatever you're gonna throw. Those are physical attributes. A woman can be big and she can be fat and she can be strong, but she still is a woman and she still got female genes. Male genes, the same size as a female, is going to be stronger. You may disagree, but I am telling you, he may act weak, but he probably is stronger, and he still got male hormones running around in his body.
Eddie.
So it is not a fair race. It's not a fair competition to have males and females competing in the same sports. It's not fair. You may have a female like the tennis players did a few years win, but that was more of a Hollywood stunt. Cause you take the best female on the planet playing tennis, playing any sport, and the best male on the planet playing the exact same sport. 95% of the time, the male is going to dominate. That's human nature.
Eddie, I don't know what you're saying here, but it sounds like you're going against the politically correct because you're basically saying, from what I'm hearing, from what Gabriel's hearing, just clarify, is that these beta loser males that can't compete in their own, quote, real identity sport are jumping to the women's sports because they know they're losers and the males will beat them. Why can't we, folks, ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to have an open mind, just for a minute, half a second actually, an open mind, why can't we give the transgender their own thing?
There you go.
Why can't we give these loser beta males their own little loser sport?
Right, there you
and
go.
let's see if it'll pull in more viewers than women's basketball.
Yeah.
How about that? Huh?
Right.
Let's see if it'll get the funding for it. How about that? I bet you no.
Well, the nature of physical competition.
Mm-hmm.
The reason they do it by weight class,
Oh, that's right.
because if a guy is 250 pounds, for him to wrestle, weight lift, do any other physical thing
He's going to do pretty
with
good.
somebody that's 150 pounds, they both male, but one is bigger, therefore he can build up more mass, punch harder,
Mhm.
do everything that's physical, because even if you do women in the same weight class,
Yeah.
if you put a woman that's 125 pounds
Mhm.
with a guy that's 125 pounds, they're lightweights. You put them in the ring and have them throwing punches, I guarantee you that little 125 pound male is going to be stronger and probably knock him out. That's why they don't do it. They don't do it because some of this don't make no sense. And if it don't make no sense, why are you doing it?
Eddie,
Why are you doing stuff that makes no sense?
you know, you talk about the bigger frame individuals, Eddie. I'm reminded of the refrigerator, the football player back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yep.
And he was a big old boy. And,
He was.
And then when they showed him on TV, they had to pull that camera further back to show how big this boy was. Like he probably just sat in front of the refrigerator and called it dinner. I don't know. But to have something like that now compete in a woman's sport because he suddenly wants to identify as a female because he's wearing a panty and he might even wear it better than some women, that doesn't mean it should be, Eddie.
Well, it's not. See, that's the thing. Politics. They just trying to make people happy. You know, but all that. At the end of the day, that don't make it fair. Because you got some voters who want to vote for you because you're gonna open some doors so that these men can feel more than what they are
Because they're losers.
because they're competing against women, and I'm not saying they should be shamed. They should be ashamed.
Close.
They just want to be. They just want to win. Because if it was for the sport of the sport, whatever sport it is, then they could compete as men. I guarantee you, there's no guys will stand up and say, "Well, we don't want to compete against those transsexuals." No. Bring them on. They'll get their butt whooped.
You know, Eddie, right now, this is all coming to the conversation that just popped in my head from, right now the Biden administration is actually put forth for the guy to run one of our nuclear departments, and it is a transvestite that dresses in the stilettos and has a shaved head and actually wrote articles about sex with animals. And this is who the Democratic Party is holding out as their best person. Now, the guy does have some MIT training. He's an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
But this freaky side makes you go, well, and even as a Trump person would say, well, can he get the job done? I don't care what he does in his personal time. But then the other side of the coin is, yeah, but that's going to represent America.
Well,
As a politician, he's going to be up the chain.
well, this is the thing we should consider. It's actually a lot of ex female
Mm-hmm.
who have feeling too, and they may feel better knowing that they beat some guy, but at the end of the day, they're losing far more, and it's changing history. It's changing history of these sports.
Yeah.
Because you got these guys that's coming in winning, setting records, and in women's sports, and they're not women. And as Tim is telling me.
So, Eddie, I think you said the basic thing.
It's
Because
about
they're
the
not
money.
women.
It's about the money.
Money in politics.
Money in
politics. It's a dirty sport, folks. It is what it is. These beta loser males are going to keep trying to jump into women's sports and destroy the women's sports. You understand? If any of you guys ever dealt with women's sports, they fight for their funding, they fight for their sponsorships,
Yeah.
and then they have these transsexuals jump into the sports and destroy the sports
And take advantage of it.
and take full advantage of it. And what happens then? People say, well, I don't want to fund that now if that's not going to be the women doing the game.
Right.
Because the whole idea was to help the women out. And now the women are even struggling more for their
For
sponsorships
acknowledgement,
and all that
right,
stuff. Yeah,
money, all that stuff that they was fighting for
that's right.
for
It's
centuries.
bad.
You
Not
know,
good.
so,
Not
anyway.
good.
Anyway. Okay, we got a caller. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. on this fine Saturday afternoon.
Fine.
We normally would be gone now, but we still here. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello.
How you doing?
Doing great.
How you doing, Eddie?
Doing great. Doing great.
Look here. Eddie, 55 years ago, we wouldn't have had nothing like this.
No.
I knew black principals, even 2 of them at Marshall High School, if they knew a teacher was gay, they would get rid of you the next day. You had to clean your locker out. I want to know what happened in 55 years. Because during segregation, we didn't have that in no black school. It
Yep.
might have been some.
No.
But you know something? It had 3 closets with padlocks on it and combination locks on it. They didn't play that. I want to know what happened in all that time, and we still with this mess. I don't see it. We know. Now, I listen here. Black folk know that's wrong, but won't stand up against it. Talk to me on that, Eddie.
All right.
Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir. God bless.
It's about money, and I'm not picking on Obama, but Obama did more
Damage.
for gay and lesbian and all that.
Huge.
All that.
His
than
first
he,
month.
Than he did for black folks.
First month
You
of
know,
power.
and the thing that I'm not anti-gay. You can live what the hell your life.
Same here, I don't care.
Whoever it is. But what it's done, it's messed up
Mhm.
a whole lot of things for a lot of innocent
Yeah.
people. Because it's a lot of female who honestly compete for records and gold and silver and this Olympic thing that just got to going on.
They'll
you
spend
know,
their
you know,
childhood in any
and-
training.
And for all intents and purposes, and I may be wrong, but they don't allow non-females to compete against the non-females in the Olympic game. It's got to be a reason for that. It's got to be something. It may be coming, but it's not here yet. And there's a reason for that. And I want the folks who make these things happen to fight for that because it's important. You know, for years and years and years, people have been trying to indoctrinate you to think abnormal behavior
Is normal.
and it is not. And I'm saying it, and I'm not anti-gay, I'm not anti-anything, but what I'm telling you is when you consider that you're right to be whatever you want to be,
Yeah.
then you decide I want to go and beat up. That's basically what they're doing. I'm gonna go beat up on these women,
So I can feel better.
and so I can feel better,
Oh.
at the expense of me feeling and being
And
who,
destroying the sports.
who I really am.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of people may disagree with me, but
That's what it is.
But what I'm saying is, there is a nature to everything and everyone on this planet, and your nature is what you do naturally. Just like all the animals have a nature. Snakes bite. You see what I'm saying? How many people you see running up and biting, and running up and petting snakes?
Mhm.
Your natural thing is to be afraid. You don't see a whole bunch of people petting sharks. You know, their natural thing is to bite, and their natural thing is to eat you. There's a natural fear. Now, let me take care of one little bit of business. If you're gonna call, if you're texting me about the tickets,
Mhm.
make sure you put your address on the ticket request
On the tip,
so I can send you the tickets for the Strawberry Festival and the general admission ticket and admission to the show. If you send me your phone number, I'm not gonna call you to give you these tickets.
Follow
I'm not.
instructions.
Yeah, follow instructions. Send me your address, and I will send these tickets out until we run out. At that point, it's done. So, until next week, same bat time, same bat station, Tampa Bay, we love you.
God bless.
Bye-bye.